Hi YouTube, it's New Year's Eve 2017, and I've got good news for all of you. I want to thank all of you in this past year who have subscribed and have watched my videos. I just noticed today that my subscriber count is past the 1K mark, and from everything that I've read, it seems as if 1K is kind of the threshold that YouTube uses to decide whether or not you're like a serious YouTube creator or not. So I want to thank everyone who's subscribed to me in the past year. That was one of my goals when I set up this year to make this channel, was to, or at least to do these vlogs, was to get my subscriber count up. And I just kind of figured 1,000 by the end of the year. Didn't really think I could do it, but I did it. So last day, but still, hey, I crossed that line. So anyways, today, this is going to be vlog number 25. And I started doing these vlogs about a year ago. Didn't think I would get this far, but hey, I'll take it. So, kind of briefly, what I want to talk about today is it a tantrum or is it a meltdown? So now, I've been looking at a lot of videos on YouTube of kids who are in bad moods, for lack of better terms. And a lot of times parents will, or the people who post the videos will label them as being meltdowns or something along those lines. And well, as a parent, you can call it whatever you want, but I kind of break everything up into just like 3 different categories. You know, there's the tantrum, there's being upset, and then there's the meltdown. So now, like, just to briefly describe each of them, you know, with the tantrum, you know, it's a controlled response that you get from a kid when they're, you know, when they want something and they're not, or they're not getting their way, or, you know, whatever it is. It's 100% in their control, and that's, you know, well defined. But now, if you're on the spectrum, when you go up to the next level, or at least I'm going to call it the next level, level 2, which is what I would like to call it. I would like to call it as autistic upset, just to give it, you know, a name that I created, you know, on the fly here. And, you know, it's just like the kind of normal upset you get, you know, like if someone ticks you off, or, you know, you get a bad grade on a test, you know, something like that, you know, the normal upset that you get. But for autistic upset, what happens with autistic upset is that it goes on for much longer, because we on the spectrum, we get hung up on things real easy, and anything that puts us in a bad mood is definitely a trigger for us getting hung on it. Like if someone, you know, for me, for instance, you know, if I dread, you know, having something happen to me at the beginning of my day, because if something pisses me off, I'm going to be pissed off about it for the rest of the day. I can't get it out of my head until I go to sleep at night. And so that's just kind of like what I would refer to as autistic upset, where it's, you know, a regular upset, but it's being driven by a factor that you cannot get out of your head because you perseverate on it, which is what it's called, the psychological term. And then, you know, the final level of everything, there's the meltdown. And the meltdown, at least, you know, I like to call it, you know, it's something that's being driven by its own momentum. You know, if your kid is freaking out about something, throwing things, hitting things, screaming, punching himself, and there doesn't seem to be any reason why he's doing so, it's like he's in the, it feels like he's, you know, to use a computer, you know, to use a science or a computer terminology, it's like he's stuck in a loop, and that he can't get out of it. And the way I like to figure a meltdown is that it's basically a situation where the brain, if you picture the gas pedal in a car, there's cable linkage, or at least in older cars. Now it's electronic, but in older cars there's a linkage that went to a valve on either the throttle body or the carburetor. And what's happening in the meltdown is that valve is being pulled open to a point where it's actually going what's called over center, and it gets stuck. That's what's going on inside the brain of a kid on the spectrum who's having a meltdown, is part of their brain is stuck on full throttle, and there's nothing that you can do to stop it. Hey, since I'm on the topic of meltdowns, I should probably just interrupt myself briefly here, since this is probably something you're asking yourself. Well, what does a meltdown feel like? Well, for me at least, The easiest way to describe it is it's a unique feeling that you only get with a meltdown, and the most obvious to me sensation that I'm in meltdown mode is that I can feel the adrenaline running through my body. My brain's just dumping the adrenaline out, and that does a lot to kind of kick things going because you're in that flight or fight response. And why are we showing Dr. Phil? Whatever. But anyways, because we had bowl games on today. Yeah, but anyway, the whole thing about it though is that, at least for me, I've gotten to the point now where I don't have to go around, and even though my brain can be in meltdown mode, but I don't have to go around hitting, kicking, or screaming, or doing any of that stuff. I just go find, a nice quiet place, and I just let it burn itself off. But yeah, it's an awful feeling to have a meltdown. You just don't, it's not a pleasant experience. That's just kind of my own little explanation on what I call the 3 levels of upset. And I've definitely had, all 3 moments happen. So that's going to be my video for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Happy New Year to everybody.